All right, let's get ready to sew my favorite face mask. First, you are going to need to print the pattern off of the Seams Legit Facebook page, and then you will need a lining fabric, an outside fabric, and some interfacing. And you're going to cut 2 of the interfacing, 2 of the lining, and 2 of the main fabric. And you're going to iron the interfacing bumpy side down to the wrong side of the lining fabric. Okay, now that you've interfaced it, you're going to take your 2 lining pieces and you're going to place them right sides together, and you are going to sew right down that curve. All right, you're going to sew the lining piece down the curve, the 2 pieces, and then you're going to sew the main piece right down that curve, just like that. The 2 pieces will be sewn together. Okay, next you're going to open up your face mask pieces and you're going to make sure the seam lays all to one side. And then you are going to top stitch on the outside right next to that seam, and you're going to back stitch at the beginning and end. You're going to top stitch all the way down and just sliding that seam over to one side as you go. Take your time, it's okay. You are going to do this with your main piece and also your lining piece. And then look how nice it is. It holds it out nice and away from your face. All right, now you need some pony beads. This is so you can make it adjustable, and some elastic. The elastic needs to be about 14 inches long, and you are going to thread the pony beads on the end just like so. All right, now you're going to take your main piece and your lining piece, and you're going to match up the top. You're going to pin that together, make sure your seams are matching up beautifully, and then you're going to lay your nose pieces about a 1/2 inch from the bottom, and you're going to pin that in place, and a 1/2 inch from the top, and go ahead and pin that in place. And then you're going to repeat on the other side. You're going to take the nose piece or the ear piece, and you're going to lay it over, and you're going to pin it a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch from the bottom. All right, now you're going to pin all around the edges, but you're going to leave an opening right here at the bottom so that we have a place to turn it. I like to place 2 pins at the beginning, and you can see all the way around. I'm going to pin a little bit more right here on each side. All right, now we're going to sew all the way around, starting and stopping at those pins. And make sure you back stitch at the beginning and the end. All right, now we've got to trim each of our corners so we don't have excess bulk. So make sure you don't trim over your stitching, but trim off all that. And then we're going to turn it right side out and just pull on your straps as you get them out. And then we are going to make sure each of our corners is pulled out nicely. I like to use a straight pin on the corner and just kind of lift those corner pieces out. Now you're going to top stitch all around 3 sides, leaving the bottom still open. Now I'm going to add a nose wire. If you don't want to add the nose wire, you can skip this part and just close up the bottom, but I like to have the nose wire in mind. So right now I am marking where I want my pocket to begin and end. I know the length of my nose wire is almost 3 inches, so I know where to mark it. Now I'm going to sew right along where I've marked it with the pin. So I will come down a little ways, probably about a 1/2 inch, rotate, and sew right along that top. And I am making a little pocket for that nose piece to go in. Now I'm not going to turn here. I'm going to leave it open right here along the bottom or along the side. Now I'm going to insert my nose piece, and it's going to go up through the bottom pocket and slide into that little hole, which makes a perfect spot. Once I have the nose piece adjusted perfectly, then I'm going to lay it back down at my machine, and I'm going to sew right over the end. Being extra careful not to sew over the metal nose piece or you will break a needle. All right, now we just need to close up the bottom. So we're just going to tuck in that seam allowance a little bit, and then we are going to pin it closed. And then we are going to top stitch down the top. beautiful new face mask. This one I gave to the ladies at the orthodontist office.